Today, we're diving deeper into a complex and often controversial topic, the death penalty in New York City and how it might contribute to reducing the homicide rate. This discussion sits at the intersection of faith and politics, two realms that shape our beliefs and policies in profound ways. Let's start by acknowledging the current landscape. New York City has made significant strides in reducing crime over the years, but the reality is that the homicide rate still poses a significant challenge. Advocates for the death penalty argue that its reintroduction could serve as a critical deterrent to violent crime. But how exactly does faith factor into this conversation? Many religious traditions emphasize justice, accountability, and the protection of the innocent. Supporters of the death penalty often highlight that scriptures across various faiths calls for justice, especially for the victims and their families. It's essential to frame this discussion not just as a matter of punishment, but as a means of societal protection. Imagine for a moment the heart-wrenching experience of a parent who has lost a child to violence. Their grief can be unbearable, a weight that seems insurmountable. For many, the death penalty may represent a form of justice that acknowledges the loss of life and the pain inflicted. The argument here is that capital punishment is not about revenge, but about restoring a sense of order and safety within the community. Now, let's explore some key arguments in favor of the death penalty more thoroughly. First, there's the belief in its deterrent effect. Studies have shown that when potential criminals perceive severe consequences for their actions, they may be less likely to engage in those behaviors. The idea is simple yet powerful. If the punishment for taking life is severe, it could deter from committing similar acts. While this notion remains a topic of debate, proponents point to the statistic suggestion that states with the death penalty often experience lower homicide rates. The argument is that the perception of swift and severe consequence can lead to individuals reconsidering their choices before engaging in violent crime. Another critical aspect is the closure it can bring to the victims' families. Many believe that when justice is served through the death penalty, it helps in the grieving process. It sends a strong message that society stands firm against violence and is willing to take decisive action to protect its citizens. From a faith perspective, this aligns with the belief that justice should be served, thus providing a sense of peace to those affected by crime. However, it's crucial to address the concerns surrounding the death penalty, including the risk of wrongful convictions and the ethical implications of capital punishment. Critics argue that no system is infallible. The potential for irreversible mistakes where innocent lives could be lost due to judicial error should weigh heavily in our consideration. Supporters counter this with the argument that with rigorous legal safeguards in place, these risks can be minimized. They advocate for a robust legal framework that ensures the death penalty is applied only in the most severe cases, where the evidence is overwhelming and the guilt is beyond reasonable doubt. This approach aims to balance the need for justice with the imperative to protect the innocent and ensure that the system operates fairly. Now, let's also consider the broader implication of reintroducing the death penalty. It's not just about punishing offenders, it's about fostering a culture of accountability within society. When a community collectively agrees that certain behaviors warrant the ultimate consequence, it may lead to significant shift in how individuals view violence and its repercussions. As we navigate this multifaceted conversation, it's important to remember that this issue intersects with deeply held beliefs and values. Faith communities often engage in discussions about justice and mercy, grappling with how to balance the two. For some, supporting the death penalty may feel inconsistent with the beliefs in redemption and forgiveness, which are central to tenets of many faiths. Yet, for others, it represents a necessary step toward a society where the rights of victims are prioritized and upheld. This brings us to a pivotal question. How do we reconcile our beliefs in justice with the principles of mercy and redemption? Is it possible to support the death penalty while also advocating for a system that values human life and dignity? These are challenging questions that require thoughtful consideration and open dialogue. As we conclude today's discussion, I encourage you to engage with the topic thoughtfully and sincerely. How do faith and politics shape your beliefs about justice? What role do you think the death penalty should play in our society? Thank you for joining me in this important conversation. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more discussions at the intersection of faith and politics. Until next time, stay safe, stay engaged, and remember that every conversation brings us closer to understanding.